Thanks for watching the video. My name's Clint from the Diehard MMA Podcast, and you can catch the replay of this entire video over on odds.com. Click the link below to go check it out, and let's make some cash. All right, moving along, we got a flyweight fight here. We just talked about Amir Albazi. He took out Malcolm Gordon on short notice for his UFC debut. The man is 13-1, taken in here against Master Z, Zhalgas Zhumagulov. I call him Master Z because it's much easier to say. Amir, he comes in here, solid grappling. We talked about it, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu purple belt, but I feel like he's one of these scramble monsters that is way better than his belt level suggests. He probably, commands a brown belt with that purple. He's in insane shape. I've done my Instagram stalking, and this guy is a brick shit house right now. He's ready to go. Might have a problem on the scale because of how much muscle he's put on since the last time we saw him. Uses good level changes really well. Excellent footwork. Circles well. He is willing to play off his back, though. He's one of these guys that can end up on bottom because he's so confident in his submission game. I've seen him get stuck down there. Now, Zhalgas Zhumagulov, we know this guy from the Russian scene. He's been fighting Russian killers his entire career. This guy knows his way around a thick, powerful, physical grappler, and he manages to eke out a 13-4 record facing nothing but those guys, and none of them are scrubs. He comes from a good organization where he's not fighting a bunch of layups or anything. This is not a padded Russian record. He's fought pretty good competition. Very aggressive with his forward pressure. He likes to take the center of the octagon and control the ring. He's a guy that when he gets taken down, he's got a good stand-up game. He likes to attack with elbows from the bottom, and he's very calm, very patient. He doesn't get overly excited about anything and waits for his moment. His opponent, Paiva, missed weight last time by a lot, and he really struggled with the height and the reach there. In my opinion, this is a much more favorable matchup for him. He's getting that short, squat, powerful, stocky guy that he's just so used to fighting already. This is a spot that I was very tempted to take a look at Zhalgas Zhumagulov here at even money. He's about -110 across the board. It looks like -115 in some places. And I think he's just got the experience edge here. This is a guy that, if there was a bet that was going to tempt me on the card at these coin flippy prices, Master Z is the one, man. How do you feel on this one?
I'm glad that we're having this conversation because it's always great to have guys on opposite sides. So I am actually on Albazi here. I haven't bet him yet. So let's talk about Zhalgas first. 3 fights before the UFC: Tyson Nam, what's his name, Ali Bagautinov, and we got Tagir Ulanbekov. All 3 guys in the UFC currently, and he's ekes out decisions over most of them. Now let's talk about the Ali Bagautinov fight. That was a fight where the first 3 rounds, we pretty much saw Bagautinov get this guy down whenever he wanted. Now he did a good job of getting back to his feet. He did a really good job in terms of like dishing out damage and doing the damage they need to do on the feet to get that victory. In my opinion, Ali a little bit past his prime now, but it still showed that he was able to get guys down. Tagir Ulanbekov, absolute robbery of a decision. He won that fight. Absolute robbery of a decision. Tagir Ulanbekov won that fight. The only reason we saw Zhalgas retain the title that night was because it was in Kazakhstan. That's exactly where my guy was. I've had a lot of people hit me up ever since I tweeted that out, and they're like, I absolutely agree. I can't say on record, but I absolutely agree that was a robbery. And you see it. Just watch the fight, and you can see it with your own 2 eyes. Tagir got him down often. He used proper stand-up as well. He got some good damage on top too. But the main thing for Tagir's game is getting the fight to the ground. And that's kind of Amir's game too. Once you start running the tape on him, he likes getting guys down. And I was wondering what he was going to do against a black belt like Malcolm Gordon if this fight did hit the ground, which is where he's most comfortable. He still goes out there, gets reversed, but in the meantime of getting reversed, clears the shoulder of Malcolm Gordon while getting reversed, clears the shoulder and locks up that triangle choke. Beautiful. One of the best submissions I've ever seen. The whole transition from there. I'm like, the guy's a little bit too high in full mount. And right away, as soon as I thought that, Malcolm Gordon reverses him and we get that submission. Absolutely beautiful sequence. If you guys haven't seen that, definitely go back and watch that. But I truly think that Amir will be able to get this guy down. I think he'll be able to control him, land some good shots from on top, maybe threaten with submissions if he needs to. Obviously, I think the most skeptical part of Amir's game is his striking. Now, I don't want to call it a stretch and say, okay, his striking looked much improved against Malcolm Gordon, because we've already talked about Gordon. He doesn't look good on the feet, but I'm expecting, to see continued improvement from Amir from fight to fight. I think he's 26 or 27 years old, very young guy in the game still, has a ton to learn, has a ton of improvements to make. He trains at a London Shoot Fighter. I believe that's where Michael Venom Page currently trains as well too. So he has a couple good training partners for him too. Obviously different weight classes, but I'm sure they got a good crop of talent there. I like this Albazi kid, and I truly wanted to go into this thinking Zhalgas is going to keep this fight on the feet and continuously pepper him on the feet, do some good work, leg kicks, whatever it takes. But Amir is strong, as we've seen. He's a tank of a kid. He's athletic, and he can get takedowns when he needs to. That's my thing. Look at that guy. Look at that guy. Thank you for pulling that up.
Jacked for this fight. Look at that.
Jesus. Give me those abs. Anyway, no, I think he gets Zhalgas down for sure. I'm surprised that the line is not really surprised. Albazi did open as a favorite. I thought Zhalgas was going to open as a favorite. We have seen that money come in on Zhalgas now to make it an even fight, but I'm hoping that we continue to see Zhalgas money come in. I want you to go out there and tip it to your followers so I can possibly get a better price on my guy Amir Albazi. But yeah, I think Albazi gets it down. And does enough to bang 2 rounds. And one more thing I'll say about this, the Zhalgas versus that Bagautina fight, that was a 5-round fight. So for the first 3 rounds, we saw Ali secure those takedowns and do some decent damage on top. Obviously, it was much harder in the 4th and 5th round for him to get him down, which is why Zhalgas was able to do the proper damage needed in those 4th and 5th rounds. And obviously, he's probably going to get one of those first 3 rounds just due to the damage he was able to get on the feet. I think Albazi will do enough to be able to secure at least 2 rounds. I'm not sure if he'll get the finish, but I think he'll be able to secure 2 rounds and then get a decision victory. So I'm going with Amir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I do want to highlight my boy 9 Minutes here. He had his fight against Shorty Torres, and if you watched that one, he looked awful, man. I feel like this line may be a little bit recency bias that, if this guy hasn't made the leaps and bounds improvements that we're maybe assuming that he has made, a guy like Shorty Torres, I feel like Zhalgas can do the same exact thing to him. If he struggles to get those takedowns, if he can't get this fight to the ground, then Master Z is just going to piece him up here for 15 minutes on the feet. And the fact that Malcolm Gordon, A, wants to go to the ground, B, is awful on the feet, I feel like that flashy short notice spot might be overhyping him here a little bit. What do you think about that?
So I'm glad that he did bring up the Torres fight, because that's definitely something that I wanted to go over. Personally, I had that fight going 1-1 going into that 3rd round, and we saw the overall game of Jose Torres. He has good grappling, good wrestling, and he has good striking too, and that definitely played a part in him being able to secure that 3rd round. Now, for me, it's more so I know that Zhalgas is going to outstrike Amir here, but I'm more confident in the fact that we'll see Amir secure those takedowns, just as we've seen fighters in the past secure those takedowns against Zhalgas. And yeah, they may not have come out on the winning side, but I think that Amir, given where he's at with his athleticism, his youth, his strength, and his wrestling pedigree compared to what Ali Bagautinov was when they fought, I think Amir is at a better shot of securing 2 rounds here over Zhalgas and, getting that decision victory.
Okay. All right. So a little dissension in the ranks here. We disagree on this one, and I love it. That's okay. But man, that's exactly why I've got such a problem with this card. The bookies know this fight is a freaking pick'em. You're going to get so many people with different opinions on these kinds of fights all week as you listen, to the other shows and other podcasts and stuff that come out. So I am being very, very careful here. I don't know if I'll make it to the window with my bet here on Master Z, but I'm going to lean his way for the win. Let me see. You know what? While we're here now, most of I do a show later on in the week, Total Madness. I go back over the entire card and I talk about this thing over and under. But this week I smell that I'm going to do more totals than sides. So we'll touch on a couple of them here. Unfortunately, this one looks like it's juiced heavily to that over 2.5. So I was hoping I could get like a minus 150 or something like that on the over 2.5. That'd be a fun spot, but no, it's like minus 250.
Yeah, you're not getting a good number on that for sure. I think most people expect this to go to a decision.
They opened the last fights under 2.5 at plus 110, so they're slipping up. You never know.
Yeah, you're right.
All right. So before the next fight up here, I do want to give a shout out. We've got another sponsor on the show. Most of you guys know the boys over at GOATCapitalSports.com. Give them a follow on Twitter at GOATCapital_. Tell them Clint sent you. If you look for reasonable priced sports betting advice, if you want picks, college football, basketball, baseball, they've got all the stuff like that covered that I simply can't help you with because I'm god awful and I'm a fish in all those other sports. So go check them out. Let them know I sent you over there. They will point you in the right direction.